Hey everybody, this is Chris with SermonAi. I'm glad you could join us. In this video, we're going to be looking at our brand new Sermon Writer block tool. So to get that, to find it, click on Sermon Writer. And SermonAi 4 is offering two different writers. We already have a classic writer video that you can watch, which is found under training videos. Today we're going to be focused on our block writer. The classic writer is more like Microsoft Word, just a word processor. Whereas the block writer breaks out your sermon into individual blocks like a title or a quote or an introduction, and you can actually lay out your sermon however you like. And so we'll go through that right now. But to start, just click on block writer. Now you'll see you are in the block writer, and you can size this any way you want. It's fully scalable. So if you wanted to open other tools, for example, if I wanted to have maybe my Bible commentary tool open, and maybe I wanted to size this, shrink that down here, and kind of make this, something like that, and then put my Bible tool right here. You can do all of this. For this video, we're just going to blow this up to full screen so we can really focus in on this one tool. And remember, you can always click this hamburger button here, and you can get rid of all the other tool menu, and you can really just focus on what you're working on. So you'll notice here to begin with the block writer that you have a plus sign. This plus sign allows you to add your blocks. So for example, if I click it, you can see the different block selections that you can choose from. So maybe I want to start my sermon with a title. I need a title for my sermon. So I'll come over here and I can just click on it and type in my title. This is my title. Or I could come over here and take AI and I could say suggest a title, and I'll just put in my passage, Mark 3, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, suggest a title. And it's giving me this title. I say, yeah, that's okay, but I'd like a different one. And you can just keep clicking on the Suggest Title button, and it'll keep giving you new titles until you find the one that you want. And then once you like it, you can just use this title, and you'll see it just drops it right in. And now once it's in, this text block has all of its own formatting tools. So you want to make it bold or italic or underline, super or subscript. If you want to align it, maybe you want to center it, maybe you want to choose a different heading type, maybe you want a different font, and you can just keep modifying it however you want. If you want to make it bigger, 36 point, and there you go. Now I've got my title. Now all of the different tool blocks are going to have these little sidebars. These are made specifically, AI made for that particular step. Okay, so maybe now that I have my title, I want to drop in a Bible passage. So I'll click on Bible passage, and again, here's my AI tool. I can say find Bible passage. And I can come over here and put in my passage, so Mark 3, 1 through 6, and pick my translation. Maybe I want the ESV, and go. And so now it's going to go through and find that passage. Now it's found my passage for me in the ESV version, and yep, this is what I want. I can just click Insert, and boom, now I've got my Bible passage. And now maybe thirdly, I'll add in here a text block, and maybe this is just going to be, you'll notice the text block doesn't have an AI because it's not specific. This could be any text. So maybe I'm going to write my introduction to the sermon, and I could write that out here. But we always have the generic AI on every tool block. So I can click this if I need any support, if I have any questions and things like that. I can use this. It's a limited AI assistant. If you want your full AI assistant, research assistant, you can go to the tools menu and you can drop in your research assistant right here. This is full blown, and you can add all your personas and everything else. So there's another video on that. All your videos are right here under training videos, and so you can see that. So now I've got my title, my Bible passage, I've got my introduction done. I can come over here now. Maybe I want to throw in a quote. Let's just say I wanted a quote by C.S. Lewis on the topic of forgiveness. C.S. Lewis. Now, you don't have to put the author. That's totally optional. You could just type in forgiveness and hit go, and it'll find all quotes. So now it's going through. AI is looking for quotes. What's nice about SermonAi 4 is you're not going to just get the quote, but you're also going to get the source if there's a source available. Now, if this was just a flat-out AI-generated quote, it'll tell you right on the bottom here. It'll tell you exactly that it's AI. And you can choose to use it or not use it. It's totally up to you. And so now I can take this illustration as, yeah, I really like that one. Click Insert. Now I've got my illustration. And I can go to my next block. And so now maybe I want to add a table. We have built-in tables. So you could do like 3 across, 4, 5, 6, 7 across, whatever you want. And let's just say I want to do 3 down. So this is going to be a 4 by 3. And boom, now I have it column 1, 2, 3, 4 by 3 deep. And I could go over here and I could say point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. And so you can see how you can lay this out. And when you go into preview mode, right here, preview mode, instead of design mode, you can actually see what it looks like. And sometimes that's really helpful when you're preaching to have those points just laid out nice and neat for you. So you can use that. The next block I'll show you is a media block. This allows you to add pictures. So if there's a picture you want to add, just click media, upload the picture, and drop it in. You can also have a conclusion block. So if I get to the end of my sermon, I can just automatically generate conclusions based on what I've already written. And all of these blocks can just be dropped in, and they can be laid out however you want. Over here on these arrows on the side, you can move these up and down. So if I wanted the introduction to come before the Bible passage, I could do the introduction first, or I could drop it down and put it underneath there, underneath the passage. So all of these blocks can be modified. And this is sort of the reasoning behind this type of sermon writing, is that each step you can really focus and concentrate on the step itself. In addition, up top here, we have our typical file menu. And so you can see that you can create new sermons, you can open existing sermons, you can save your sermon. We also have autosave right here that you can turn on. But before you can turn on autosave, you first have to do an initial save. You have to give it a name that it can autosave to. So if I called this Sermon on Mark, and I click Save, now I can turn on autosave if I want to. You can turn it on or you can turn it off. It's right there. And that will autosave every few seconds. And you'll see a green check mark here. As it's autosaving, this will flash. Save as, if I want to duplicate the sermon and then start over, but take what I have now and then modify it to something else, I can do that with the save as. We also have download. You can download your sermon as a PDF, a text file, or a document file. And you can print your sermon right here with your printer. Under the View menu, we have spell check. If this is turned on, it's just going to highlight with red underneath the words if there's a spelling error, and you can click on them. And it's just like Microsoft Word. You just click on it and you can edit that. And also we have sermon metadata. This is kind of be important in the future. We're working on something, but just to show you, if you take a couple of extra minutes when you're writing your sermon and just fill out if it's part of a larger series, what the topic is about, the passages you're preaching on, any private notes, any links to your websites or whatever you want to put in there. All of this information is going to be used. Under the My Sermons in the SermonAi cloud, we're building an analytics page. This is going to track what you've been writing, the passages you've hit on, some that maybe you've missed, some ideas for how you can improve your sermon writing based on what your focus has been. But in addition, you're going to be able to send out links to all of your sermons to your congregation, and they can give feedback. And that feedback is going to be star ratings and comments, and it can be anonymous or it can be with their names, whatever they choose. And when you go to My Sermons, you're going to see the sermons you've written and all of the feedback and the star ratings you're getting. And then AI is going to take all of that into account and build a beautiful analytics page for you to show you how your year has been going, what's worked, not worked, etc. So that's what the Edit Sermon Metadata is for. You'll probably be seeing that right after Christmas time. That's one of the first things we'll be working on after the Sermon AI 4 is released. We also have templates. Templates is a little bit different in Block Writer than from Classic Writer because we're building blocks. We're not just doing text. So you can see here, I can create custom templates now. So I can say I want to create a new template, and I can give that template a name, my template, and a description if you want to, and then I can just start adding steps. Well, the first thing I do in mine is I add a title. So I'll call this step 1, title, and this is a title block. And then I could say, okay, add step number 2. And for step 2, maybe I'll do a passage, and this would be my passage block. And so you can just build out your entire sermon the way that you write, and then you can click Save Template. And now it's going to ask you, do you want to apply the template, or do you want me to help you build it? What this means is I can just drop this template in that I just built. And so it's just telling me you're going to lose everything you were working on before. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. And now this is what I was just building. So I got my title and my passage. So now I have my template. And you can always find those templates right here under My Templates. So you'll see your templates that you're saving right here, and you just click Use Template. So if I want to do this template, okay, and here's my template, and I can start to use it. So this is a great way to build your own custom templates and expedite sort of your sermon writing process. But in addition, we also have the ability to use pre-built templates. So maybe you want to be like John Stott or J.I. Packer. Maybe you want to write like they do. So how you want to see how they write their sermons. I can click on John Stott. I can say just apply the template. Or I can say use AI to help me build this sermon block by block in the voice of John Stott. For this example, I'll just drop in the template and click OK. And now I have a 20-step template that lays out exactly how John Stott builds his sermons. And you can build it block by block. In addition, if I wanted to do that again and I say I want John Stott, I can say yes, help me build it. And this is going to automatically put the persona of John Stott in there. And it's going to allow you to say, okay, I want to preach on, let's say, Mark 3, 1 through 5. And this is optional. You can fill this in if you have specific titles you want, etc. And I click Generate Sermon. And now it's going to generate block 1 through 19. You're going to get much longer sermons in SermonAi 4 from the template generations than you did in 3 because each block is its own call to AI. So each block is calling to AI, getting a full text range, and then it's coordinating with the other blocks and aligning the whole sermon. So that's what it's doing right now, generating each block. I won't wait for the whole thing to finish. But basically when it's done, all these blocks will be filled in, and you can customize it and modify it and make it your own. So that's what templates are. The Convert menu, this allows you when you're done with your sermon to convert to a Bible study guide, a youth sermon, a small group format, devotional, social media series, or presentation. The presentation is nice. We partner with Gamma. So when you click this, all the text from your sermon is copied to the clipboard. All you have to do is click like 3 buttons and you can produce an entire PowerPoint presentation. Gamma is a paid service. We're not affiliated with them. We're just partnering on this because they do the best job. But you do get 4 presentations annually for free. So, monthly. 4 presentations each month for free by using this. We'll have another video just on creating presentations. You can get a bulletin summary, and then you can get a sermon outline. So if I click this, I'll get an outline of my sermon. If I click the bulletin summary, I'll get something I can put in my bulletin so that the church can follow along with what I'm preaching. So those are your convert tools. We also have a tools menu here that allows you to use the Bible passage finder. That's going to allow you to say, I don't remember where St. Paul fell off his horse, but I know he fell off his horse. So you can just click on passage finder. Paul falls off horse. And this is going to go off and find that passage for you. And you'll see here, once it finds it, it'll give you the passage, and you can just copy that passage, and then you'll be able to paste it right into your sermon. So here it is, and I can click copy, and I can close that. And I come down here and say, okay, I'm going to add this as a text block. And I can just paste that in, and now I've got that passage. So that's what that does. Thesaurus helps you find alternate words to enhance your message. So if you're using one word and you want an alternate version of it, so it's alliterated or whatever, you can use the thesaurus for that. Grammar correction, if I click this, it's going to go through my entire sermon and find any grammatical errors. YouTube transcript is going to allow me to take a YouTube video and just get the link to it and paste it in, and it's going to give you a full transcript of that video. And you can just insert that right into one of your blocks, and that's it. Once you do that, sorry about that. Once you do that, you'll have the entire transcript in a block here, and you can customize and modify it any way you want. We'll have videos on all of these as well. Listen to sermon. This is going to allow you to take your sermon text and turn it into audio, choosing multiple voices. And you can also take an audio file, and you'll be able to upload that and turn it into text and use it. So it's a great, powerful tool. We'll have videos for that as well. Sermon evaluation. This is going to allow you to get grading of your sermon by a seminary professor, AI simulated seminary professor. So if I click this, it's going to go through everything I've written and give me a report card based on what it's found. Managing personas. This is going to allow you to create your personas, which you use in your templates here. So when I go over here to my templates, and if I pick like J.I. Packer or John Stott or Michael Green or whoever I pick, there's all kinds of different ones in here. These are all saved in your personas here, and you can manage your personas right here. So here they all are, and you can just come over and you can say, I want to create a new persona, and I could just say Charles Stanley, let's say, for example, generate. Now this is going to go off and generate the whole persona for you. automatically, so AI does the whole thing. Now you can modify it any way you want, customize it, but this is basically done. I can just save my persona, and that's it. And then Charles Stanley is right here, and it's one of my saved personas now. So that's what your personas are. And these personas can be used under your templates. So whenever I want to, I can use these personas to create the text for my sermon. So it'll write in their style. And then lastly, generate images. This will allow you to add text to image. So you could just type in, Jesus is walking on the water at sunset. It's going to give you a picture of that. And you could drop that into your sermon. You could drop it into your notes. You could drop it into a bulletin, whatever you want to do with it. You can download it to your computer and save it. And then finally, clippings. Clippings is a tool that allows you to save your thoughts. So if you're online, you see something interesting, you can just copy and paste the text into clippings. And again, we'll have videos on all of these, but this will allow you to save all of your thoughts. And when you're writing your sermon, if you need to drop in a clipping, you can say, oh yeah, I remember that. I was thinking of that back in the past there, and I want to drop this into my sermon. I can do that. So that's what the tools menu is. In addition, over here, you have preview, which is going to allow you to preview your sermon that you're writing. So you can see here, I got a nice little layout of it. And I can make this bigger or smaller. I can print, and I can close this out. When you get the software and it's released, this book button will be gone. You won't see that. It's going to be preview instead. But we will have here this video button. Every one of our tools is going to eventually have a video button. When you click that, it's going to be a help video to show you how to use the tool. So you can always use the tool. Also, you're going to have your minimize and shrink. You're going to have your medium block, and then you're going to have your close or lock. That's the entire tool. So if I want to make this small, I can click it like this, and now it's small, and I can drag it around my workspace wherever I want to. Oops, one second here. Make this small. And I can just drag this wherever I want. I can set up my screen. So I can have all my tools laid out here and just choose the ones I want to use when I want to use them. I can also maximize it. I can also lock it. That just means that this whole block is locked and I can't move it around. So you can lock and unlock right there. So if I were to lock it, you see how it puts a blue block, and I can't move this now. I'm trying to grab it and I can't. But if I unlock it, then I can move this wherever I want. And so that's basically the sermon writer. The only other thing I'll say is that the autosave works only if you've saved your file first. So give your file a name, save it right here, and then you can turn on your autosave. And that'll do every few seconds you'll see this flash and you know you've saved. So that is the sermon writer in a nutshell, the block writer. If you have any questions, you can get me, Chris, at SermonAi.com. That's Chris at SermonAi.com. Until then, happy sermon writing, and God bless.